Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. We are back here with a dynamic duo from the Love and Design Project. That's right, Samantha and Jeffrey joining us live here in the Zoom room, also on the podcast today. We want to welcome to the show Samantha Bessudo Drucker, who's a lifestyle genie, and her husband, of course, architect Jeffrey Drucker, back here, both sharing a love of interior design, big cities, of course, where space is limited, and so much more. Welcome back.
Well, thank you very much. So I want to start off by saying Samantha and I have been together over 7 years, and we're about to embark on our third renovation for ourselves. This one, yet another gut renovation here in Manhattan. Samantha, tell us a little bit about, tell everybody a little bit about how we met and how we got together. I think that was
absolutely. Happy Valentine's, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day, Jill. Thanks for having us back on the show. We love doing this show together, and so last week we said that for Valentine's Day we would talk about how we met, my new book, and how to sexify your pad. And that's what we're going to do today. Perfect. So how we met 7 years ago through an app. Yes, through a dating app. I was actually covering a story about this new dating app and writing a series. I write a couple columns in the city at a couple different outlets. And this was a 90-day series to cover this dating app. And just when I thought I couldn't take it anymore, on the very final swipe, wow, I was like, wow, there's an intelligent face. That looks like a grown-up. And I reached out to him.
and I had never been on the app before. It was just a random luck, so to speak. A friend of mine in the restaurant was on the app. And he convinced me to try. And 2 days after, voila.
So we had 6 dates. And I left the country permanently because that was my plan. And so we had 6
Where did you move
dates.
to? Where were you going to?
I was moving to South America to open up a new business there in Colombia.
Wow.
And we had 6 dates together. Meanwhile, I was like packing and shipping my stuff. And he sent me a ticket back to New York for the holidays, for, Hanukkah, Christmas, all of that, New Year's. And so I agreed to go. And so I came back, and well, the holidays turned into 3 months. And then he said to me, Samantha, I would like to build a life with you. Could I start by building you a kitchen? And I said, excuse me, what?
Oh my God, I knew part of this story. I didn't know that you were living so far away. Oh.
I was like, do I look like the cook? I know that my cooking is fabulous, but don't get any ideas. Don't. It's because I love you, not because I have to. I said, but if you would like to build a life together, I'm open to that possibility. But meanwhile, follow me. And I took his arm and proceeded to walk through his apartment. I was like, let's take this down. Let's change that. Tear this down. Why is there a wall here? Let's take this down. Let's do this. Let's do that. And so, that's how we started, by our shared love of architecture. I think last week I mentioned that he had invited me over to his office, and the first thing I said was, wow, I really dig the vantage point of the relief work of the neoclassic building across the street. And he said, no one ever noticed that before. So we
love to design.
We do.
We love to think about different ways how we can make the space better. And we don't argue about it, but sometimes we go back and forth, and we try to make each other's points until finally one of us says, yeah, okay.
It's true. I think every couple should have a hobby or a project or a value or a cause or something that unites them. And better living through interior design and architecture is definitely something that lights us up and bonds us. And I think, fighting over what a floor plan should look like and how things should be spatially is when we are maybe the closest.
So that's how we got started. And then Samantha, you wrote a book about it.
I did. Here's my book.
Let me see it.
So my book is 90 Days to Husband Number 2, 10 Rules to Find Him. And yes, the cover is the cover there is Jeffrey and I on the day of our civil wedding in Paris. And so I wrote this book because, well, I noticed that husbands number one and two, for me, I exhibited similar behavior and similar mindset. And I've been hearing a lot of my girlfriends and a lot of women complaining about, what it's like to date out there. And so I have gotten over, 20 years of being a really sought after image consultant. Um, I've gotten a lot of my clients married, like a lot of my
Wow.
clients married over the years. And so I finally decided to write this book because I realized there was a set of rules and a certain mindset that I instilled in my clients and in myself when going through the dating process to find a partner. And so I wrote this book, 90 Days to Husband Number Two. It is available on Amazon, or you can go to my website where there is a direct link to it at samanthambessudodrucker.com.
What's really cool about it, I love the mother comments. Her mom actually makes comments on the sidebar about some of the outrageous things that,
There's mom comments.
Woman might
Mom
I
comments.
love it. Really, truly spoken. And that's real.
Mom comments in the margins. That's real.
All right. So let's bring it back. Let's talk about
Let's get to the bedroom, right?
Caddy.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. So one of the things that I think is really important in just some basic things that you can do is hiding the TV. The TV is a definite distraction. I like designing the TV in a cabinet. It pops in and out, or like we have in Florida, we have the projector screens or projector.
We made the
images.
blackout screen.
Yeah.
The blackout screen to keep the sun from coming in the windows in the morning. We did as a projector screen. So it's a double duty piece of textile. And so we have a full, like a movie screen in our bedroom that rolls down and rolls up.
Awesome.
It's my favorite.
In any event, you just want to hide that TV.
Yeah, you want to hide it.
TV is not going to work for, romantic evening.
Well, it depends on what you're watching. But anyway,
well,
moving right along.
Speaking of that, the next thing that's a pet peeve of mine is, all these cords and cables. We all have a million of them for our computers, our laptops. They're all over the place. Hide those, put those out of the way. You don't want to see them. That creates clutter.
So I believe that part of having your own home oasis is feeling good in your bedroom. And that includes looking great naked in your own bedroom. Mm-hmm. And if maybe not great, at least better. Mm-hmm. So I want to talk about some instant things that you can do to give your bedroom a lift. So first of all, if the walls aren't pretty, give them a fresh coat. You might consider, in fact, should consider buying all new bedding. Fresh sheets, fresh bedding is a wonderful way to give your bedroom an instant boost without spending a lot of money, and choose colors that are really good on your skin tone, right? Because if you think that, well, if you never wear peach, for example, because it makes you look sallow or sick and you just don't jive with that color, why on earth would you put it on your sheets? So where your sheets are basically backdrop for you. So choose colors that look good on your skin tone. Next is lighting. You want soft, warm, golden lighting. And filters, well, the best filter ever invented was candlelight. So I say go for it. Add like candles everywhere to give that warm, soft glow.
That's going to soften the mood as the daylight starts to fade. If you put on red lights in the house, that's not going to feel
exactly good. And if it's time to change the mattress because it's not comfortable to sleep on, it's probably not comfortable to do anything else on. So I would suggest investing in a good mattress. A good night's sleep is so important for our health, our weight, our mind, everything. And the more we learn about how important sleep is, the more I'm adamant about how a mattress should be super, super comfortable. And, President's Day is coming up, so it's a
Good
good time
sales.
to buy a
Good
new bed.
sales.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
exactly.
The things that I think are really important, and all of that is super duper important, is to organize and clean up your space.
Absolutely.
If the space, and that goes in line with the TV, the cords, work papers all over the place, that's not conducive to sexifying your space.
No, that's definitely not. And I can't agree. That's usually step one that I give to my clients, is to start clear up the clutter in their life, because when you build it, they will come. So as you are cleaning out the clutter in your life, this is sort of advanced spring cleaning. You are also clearing out the clutter in your mind, if that makes any sense.
It's
there
so
is
true.
a correlation there. And I think that there are tons of solutions that we have, containers, organizers for everything in your life. And maybe it's time to think about redoing your closets. But
there's some easy things now, just in the apartment in general. I mean, if I come home with flowers, for instance, that immediately adds some ambiance.
That's right.
And if you or I set up a pretty table, that sets up with candles
and
mood.
Nice. Your home should have a mood.
Exactly. The scent, the aroma in the space, that helps.
Just like the song says, you can buy yourself flowers, Yep. I can buy myself flowers. I'm lucky Jeffrey bought me flowers. But buy yourself some flowers and put them everywhere. Buy some eucalyptus leaves and put them in the bathrooms to help the bathroom smell fresher.
Just going back to the bedroom for a second.
For sex too. Yeah, that was perfect.
Did you see that show? So You Want to Build a Sex Room?
I love So You Want to Build a Sex Room. It is one
I
of
never
our
saw
favorite.
it. Tell me, where do I find the show?
It's amazing. I forget.
It's a crazy design show.
Okay.
I don't remember what network it's on, whether it's on Netflix or Lifetime. I think it's on Netflix, but it's called How to Build a Sex Room, and it is one of our favorite design shows. This very proper British lady who's an interior designer. She goes, around the world building people's sex rooms. But if you live in an apartment, not necessarily. Yeah, how do you build?
You don't have a separate room. Basement,
you don't have that.
So you really have to have transformable space.
Right.
Your bedroom can transform in some methods with panels.
That's
and
right.
So forth.
Hidden in plain sight. That is the key. Places to put your toys, your outfits, your whatever it is you're into. And if you want to swing from the chandelier, have that chandelier nearby.
Yeah.
Accessible so that everything is ready. So, it's only it's like a game of peekaboo. Everything looks normal, vanilla, and then with the blink of an eye, everything is changed for your evening's plans, whatever that is. And so that is one way to sexify your home. I want to move into the living room, Jeffrey. I know that my husband is great. Jeffrey is great at sizing things up. I want to move it into the living room, Jeffrey. Let's start there.
All right. Ooh. But before we do, actually, why don't we talk about our segments on the show? Yeah. So your segment is Samantha is Marvelous. So what's that all about?
Well, I am marvelous.
Yes.
But the segment is Samantha Makes It Marvelous.
Samantha Makes It Marvelous.
Which is what I'm known for. I'm known as a lifestyle genie. I'm able to look at a situation, whether it is an apartment or a person, and analyze what are the disconnects, and then I know how to fix it. And if I cannot fix it myself, I know who to call. It is just my superpower. I've spent 20 years fixing people's lives and interiors.
The way you do that is, because I've seen you in action, is you take a look at the person you're designing for.
That's right.
You get an understanding of who they are, what they want to see, how they feel good, their clothing and so forth. You may make suggestions. And then you put together an image, a style.
That's right. I started with bachelor pads. That's how I personally forayed into my own experience in renovation. I mean, not experience. Okay, my mother is a designer and I grew up in her studio. So yes, I had lots of design
Okay.
education through osmosis, but in getting my own hands dirty, so to speak, I started out with bachelor pads belonging to my clients and then diversified from there.
So that's what she does. The thing is that when she makes it marvelous, sometimes she makes it too marvelous. And we still have to talk about
I have the
budget and
crazy
things
ideas.
of that
That's
nature.
true.
So my segment on the show, which repeats from show to show, is Jeffrey sizes it up. And so
Hmm.
basically, what I do is I talk about the technical sides of things, the budget, or how we're going to make her fantastic ideas work. What are the options? I take you through different scenarios. Sometimes we have people on the show who are specialists in carpentry or plumbing or whatever
Yeah.
it might
Exactly.
be, so that folks have a general understanding of what they need to consider when they make certain decisions, whether it be a cosmetic or a gut renovation.
I like to do outside the box crazy things, like put a hammock in a living room, like a demi hammock in a living room, put a full fledged hammock in a bedroom. We've done all kinds of crazy things, knocked out walls, made rooms flexible, made whole walls flexible, walls that slide in and out, um, so that the space can be opened and closed as necessary, as flexible as necessary. I like to do some outside the box kinds of things.
So the
Hmm.
first thing that we suggest that folks do in thinking about all, everybody has thoughts in mind, whether it's a hammock or something else that they may want to utilize
Yeah,
within their
something
space.
fun, something
Of
fun
course.
and unexpected.
And how do all these components go together? That's a key thing. So there's something called a mood board. And a mood board is a visual representation of ideas for a design project. So it's an assembly of many different images and finishes. And as designers and architects, we put it together on boards. They can be done virtually, or they can be done on a live board.
That's right.
But it's that assembly shows styles, shapes, finishes, and includes things that the apartment owner might want, and sees how those things coming together work as a design. And sometimes one can clearly see, oh, while I like this and this,
Yeah.
they don't really work together.
So a mood board is like a dream board, similar to a dream board. It's got manifestation, it's a manifestation exercise. So if you're thinking about renovating your home, first start with self-analysis. Who am I in the world? What are my hobbies? Do I exercise all the time but hate to go to the gym? Do I want to be able to work out from home? Do I have not enough space for my wardrobe? Do I not have enough space for entertaining? And entertaining is a big part of our lives. Analyze what your situation is, and then analyze what about your apartment does not please you. Make a long list of
Hmm.
everything that doesn't please you,
Yes,
and then go from there, and then start buying design magazines, flip
Yes.
through them, and tear out things that excite you. Don't pay attention to the cost. It doesn't matter. There is a more affordable way to buy things or create things. Like if you can't afford the crazy multi-jet shower, if you can't afford to do that, you can go to the hardware store or somewhere that sells fixtures and buy a multi-jet water saving, they have multi-jet shower,
Hmm.
right, that you can handheld, you can hold them in your hand and spray yourself down. That is a quick, inexpensive way to upgrade your shower. If you have one of those old showers that just turns the water on and off and doesn't do anything fun, there are options that are affordable.
But pulling it back, and I love your concepts. I just loved it. But pulling it back,
Yeah,
some tips for
right.
the audience.
Don't pay attention to price.
Yep.
So she keeps saying that. I don't
We
necessarily
have to,
agree,
but the truth is there are some beautiful things in those magazines that maybe people can't afford, but you could always find something on a budget that's very similar. So I,
Exactly.
yes.
yeah, no, definitely. So some tips for the mood board. Put the rooms that have the look you're looking for. So
Right.
if you see in the magazine some ideas of of space that you say, oh wow, that looks
Yeah.
good. And so put those together.
Or I love the wall treatment they
Right.
did.
Then you put together specific furniture. You go through furniture catalogs, and those might be a separate need.
Once again, back to your analysis. Are you masculine? Are you feminine? Do you like flowers? Do you like leather? Do you like hyper modern? Do you like mid-century modern? Do you like very traditional? Those are things that you should know. So
Mm-hmm.
start playing with the idea of what is your style.
Right. And pick textiles, finishes, and pick colors. Colors is a really
Remember, you want to look good in your own
And
habitat.
and can I also ask, I think we may have skipped over this, but in the bedroom area, we should have a fridge, right? I was reading a little bit
Totally.
about some food, some champagne. Could you give us some ideas of, some things
So
that we should be
She'll
eating?
give you ideas.
yes, I think whether it is, yeah, I love the idea of the bedroom fridge, or sometimes they have little drawers now that are refrigerated that you can just disappear into your dresser or whatever. It's amazing what exists now. And if you can't put a mini fridge in your bedroom, then at least have these things in your kitchen at all times. You should always have a bottle of sparkling water, a bottle of flat mineral water. You should have a bottle of champagne, a bottle of red, a bottle of white, rosé, bottle of scotch. Basic. All right. That's what you should have on at hand at all times. Then you want to think about things that you can serve that won't weigh a person down. So you still have some energy, right, to enjoy each other's company. So things like nuts for quick protein
Mm-hmm.
while you're having a glass of wine, some eggs just in case at 4 o'clock in the morning you decide, you need an omelet. So things that you have some spinach, throw some spinach into the omelet in the morning. You can use the leftover spinach to make some green juice. Have a lemon on hand because you always need a lemon. So some basic things that you should have on hand, and dark chocolate. And I have read a lot of studies about the benefits of ginger and what it does for men's sexual health. So I use it in everything.
Hang up on that ginger. But
cook with ginger.
Speaking of the refrigerators, they now make refrigerated drawers that just totally disappear in your space. So instead of having the mini refrigerator that we all know on the counter and so forth, there's several appliance manufacturers that actually make columns or drawers. They can disappear within the platform of your bed. They pull out.
And they can be paneled to match the rest of what you have going on.
And that's a more inexpensive way to really make your space nice, and it's a surprise. You don't see it while you're there. But let's talk a little bit about color, Samantha. We talked about all these various different finishes, and having a color palette within your space is really important. There's something that's called the 60-30-10 rule.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that
size it up for us, Jeffrey.
No, definitely. 60% of the rooms in the apartment should be that dominant color.
Correct.
You want everything to tie together. Then about 30% should be a secondary color, and about 10% should be a special accent color, something that has a little pop to it. But that rule really makes the spaces work together, because you do want some uniformity, and you want things that are consistent within your space, so that it feels like a whole space, and that not each room feels like a completely different a place.
The same rules apply to wardrobe.
Okay.
Like, we have a lot of black in our wardrobe. We have a lot of beige and gray, base colors, white, base colors. And then we have maybe some red, maybe some blue, maybe some pink in there, or teal as a secondary color. And then occasionally there's like a surprise. We every once in a while wear a color that we don't normally do because we like the dress or whatever it is, a surprise. So that's kind of the same idea.
So when you choose color, how do you go about choosing that, within the space? So you normally start with the formal areas of the house, the living, dining, entryways, the spaces that are most common and where you may have visitors and so forth. And you think about what colors are those spaces going to be, and how is that going to work with the furnishings? from that point, then you can go further into your other spaces and understand what colors those might be when you're doing your mood board.
And also, since we do concentrate on urban living and apartment situations predominantly, if you want to open up walls, may I suggest that you choose the same base color for the entire apartment. There is no shame in having white walls. White walls can be modern and lovely, and then allows for artwork, allows for the furniture maybe to be a different color. It allows for a wall finish, like a wall treatment, one wall that you paint in a surprise color or put a big piece of artwork up. So the more uniform you can make the whole apartment, paint all the walls white, for example, then you're going to have a space that feels brighter, bigger, cleaner. And it's a lot easier if you're inexperienced at design or don't feel that you have the best sense of taste or style. It is going to save you from making mistakes. It's going to be easier for you to furnish. And nothing sexifies an apartment faster in the living room than a new sofa.
I love it.
A beautiful leather sofa that feels something that feels good on the skin.
Yeah. Yeah, leather for me is a little too cold. I always have to lay down a blanket or something. But versatility in the summer, it's good.
Yeah, exactly. So something that makes you feel good, and yes, have a throw, have a blanket, have something furry, add some texture.
Great.
I find that one of the most difficult things people have in color coordination and selecting colors is understanding which colors go together. And it's actually very simple to start out with a color wheel. If you look at the color wheel of colors, what you see on the color wheel is that colors that work with each other are next to each other, such as blue and green are colors that work with each other. They're more casual and relaxing. So take a look, there's actually things out there like the color wheel that will help guide you into selection of colors and understanding
like
which
the two of you. I wish I would have been in the purple family today. I'm in the blue family, but see, I think color is important as well as for design. And we just have 2 minutes left in the show, so we have to start to wrap it up, unfortunately. How did you want to leave off for today with our listeners?
So I feel that you should just take color, texture, personality, and yes, even budget into mind. But there are simple ways that you can make your apartment more romantic, sexier, more sensual by adding color, by adding texture, by adding new bedding, by adding a new furniture, by having your fridge stocked with goodies that are, sensual, good, date night snacks, and be warm, just build it, and they will come. Clear out the clutter from your life, both, metaphysically and physically. And you're going to be able to be more open and free to have the life you want and invite people over.
Just a word about our next episode, which is the President's Day episode. We're going to be talking about kitchens and appliances, and we're going to get a little more technical, which is what I like.
That's you.
And talk about how you make those selections and how you make good buys and how you think ahead so that what you're purchasing will work well.
Yeah, he's technical, your taste.
That's right.
All right, guys, wrap it up for us. I like the way you guys come on. You got to say, I'm taste, he's technical. Go for it. Go for it.
Of course, we're going to do this.
I love it.
I'm taste.
I'm technical.
And together we're unstoppable.
Yay. All right, Love and Design Project. Thank you guys so much. One more time, tell us the website before we go.
Go to SamanthaBessudoDrucker.com and check out our YouTube at Love and Design Project.
Beautiful. Thank you guys so much for today, Jeffrey and Samantha. Always a pleasure. And next week, President's Day, I'm in, ready to go.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.